Well, hello, Church of God. Latter-day Lornographers. The Latter-day
Mm.
Lornography Curious. This is High
You
Priestess
guys got to change the
Amber
title of it.
Infierno. And we're here today
It
with
just says
host
Sam
Sam
Pendleton live
Pendleton
stream.
and Ramona. We're going to be hosting a very important call tonight. This is
Okay.
going to likely be the very
You want to
last
change it
call
to
we're
last
going to
Lorne
have
call,
on
the
the show.
breakup or the heartbreak or something like that?
Yeah, Ramona, something about the end, Ramona breaks up with Lorne.
We're getting everything set up right now.
Okay. Ember, are you on that, or do I need to do that, or can you do that?
I just came on and introduced the stream. So we are live streaming now. Both of you are live.
Damn, man, it just went live and we've already got 25 people on.
Oh my gosh. Now why so many people are going to join once you change the title?
This is your moment to shine, Ramona. You're in the spotlight. You're gonna knock them dead.
Oh my gosh.
Get excited, man. This is it. You go in hard, you go in heavy, shock and awe. You know what I mean? Carpet bomb them. Don't give them a chance to breathe.
Yeah, but I usually like doing things on my own terms. But whatever. I've been thrust into this.
By the school bullies. I promise this is the best way. And I promise that once you get you pop the lid on that, you'll start to enjoy it. You just ease into it, You ever do sports in high school or in college, team sports?
Yeah, I did hockey and softball.
Yeah, so you know what's up. Once you get in the game, it's all about performing in the game. And all that other stuff blurs into the periphery, and it's just about performing. Or to,
so we can either end
to
this
borrow
conversation.
from the
we talk about
fight from the other night. This is your Mayweather, and you're in the ring, and now this guy's been trying to pound on you and trying to pound on the world, and this is your chance now to unload on him.
By the way, who won that one?
Oh, old money Floyd Mayweather won that one.
So he's still undefeated, huh?
Still undefeated and retired. He said he's not going to fight anymore. He said that last time, but he came out of retirement for this one because they paid him almost $200 million. So I think he's done.
You're kidding.
Yeah, no, he made a ton of money, man. And
that is criminal.
Yeah, and Conor made 75, I think, to lose the fight.
That is criminal. When you have people that are in this country starving and somebody was paid that much to fight someone for 15 minutes, that's criminal. Ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Although, in fairness, they actually fought for closer to 30 minutes.
How did you ever let that witch talk you into doing such stupid shit? And somebody was paid that much.
Okay, we're on. Okay, so we're streaming. Everybody can hear us, I believe. I would like confirmation. And as soon as I get it, then we will begin.
Hello?
And I say that I need confirmation because I'm...
Hello?
Okay, right on. That's Sam Pendleton rapper. All right, who wants to go? Ember, do you want to open this up? You want me to? What do you think? Yeah, Ramona?
Sure. Guys, change the title, though. It still says live stream. Change the title.
Nothing.
And Emma, volume up some, too.
Okay.
That's better. Let me hear you talk for about 5-10 seconds to make sure it sounds all right.
So what I was trying to do is to cue up the part of the call where I told Lorne and told him that it was fake and that I thought he was a stupid loser pedophile. And,
okay, your volume is okay, but you're cutting out a lot.
Yeah, it's because I'm live stream. So
Okay, right on.
I'm probably just gonna.
Okay, so all right. Well, so first of all, greetings to everyone who's in the stream. If you have any Lornographer friends who are not listening in, let them know that they should be tuning in, because this is a big night for Lornography. And we are excited to bring this to all of you. Ramona, would you like to fill? Oh yeah, I guess I should, huh? All right, I've muted it. All right, so Ramona, do you want to tell the people what's going on? Would you like me to fill everybody in?
You fill everybody in, but get that title changed so they know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, most of the people here came from Facebook with the announcement. So it'll take a few minutes to come into effect. Do you want me to play the segment where I tell more?
All right, check the title now. See if that makes you happy. See if you like
Check
that
this
one.
out. My husband's here. His name is Sam. And
What's up, stupid?
Okay.
And we
Is
think
that
that you
good?
and Ramona
That's
deserve
appropriate.
everything that you both get.
All right,
Ramona
you like
for
that, or you
being
want something else?
This is perfect.
a pedophile
Okay.
sympathizer, and you
So,
for
to
wanting.
all of our Church of Cod /Pornography /TCAP /Curious by TCAP Curious whatever friends, tonight's the night, and the long and short of it is that Lorne has been made aware of some of the Ramona project. He knows now that some of the stuff has gone out, and basically the only thing that he still believes is real, if you can believe this, after everything this man has been through, the only thing he still believes is real is Ramona. So Ramona is about to break his heart by hitting him with a life-size dose of the cold, hard truth. And that is what you're all tuning in for, to hear and observe in real time Lorne getting his heart broken. I'm so excited. Ramona, how do you feel? Going in, this is like, I'm interviewing the quarterback before the Super Bowl.
That's kind of like what I was thinking. I can't stop laughing.
Are you excited? Are you nervous? Tell us what your thoughts are.
I'm anxious to touch Mr. Penis.
Well, of course. Who isn't? Who wouldn't?
And yeah, so I'm nervous. I'm nervous about talking to Lorne.
Right on. Right on. Are you, this is 10 months now that you've been dealing with this degenerate animal and having to pretend to be interested and undisgusted. So you've got to have some aggression built up, right? Some sense of that this is long overdue, and you're finally going to get your ultimate reward, and he's going to get his comeuppance for everything that he's put you through, to say nothing of what he's put the rest of the universe through, right?
And it's funny because oddly enough, I'm like, I'm just reading the comments. You caught me on a night where I'm not mad at him, so I had to remember all the times where he called me a pathetic bitch, a piece of shit, a whore, a loser, a bitch, a cunt. So I had to think about all those times that he said that, and all the times that.
How about that little girl who sounds cognitively delayed, and he keeps manipulating her, asking her if she wants to touch his penis, showing her
Yeah.
how he jacks off on cam and telling her it's not going to take much longer to get the white stuff to come out. He wanted this little tiny girl to see him jizz on himself, and then he wanted her to imagine drinking it. He told her almost every single fucking night, violate yourself, stick your fingers in your vagina for me, no matter how much she protested and said she didn't want to. This man made a girl fucking molest herself, as far as he was concerned at the time. He hasn't changed. People tell him over and over what is real and what isn't, and all Lorne wants is what he wants. He wants to be satisfied. And the reason he was talking to you is because you were his last chance to fuck a woman under 30 without having to worry about criminal charges. This is the man you're dealing with. He would have strangled you if you were standing across from him during those drunk phone calls. This man has charisma and has a sense of humor. That's not enough to fool smart women like you and smart men like the ones that we have on the call and the ones in the chat. This man is a piece of fucking shit, and he deserves pain. And if you let him off lightly, I'm going to give him a call and give him even more, because this piece of shit has finally come to his eruption, and it's not going to feel good for him if I have anything to say about it.
And you're right. And another thing is that he also stole money from the elderly. I mean, so he has literally kind of screwed over every demographic that he comes by. The elderly, children, animals. You know, he tied his dog to a treadmill. And he also argued with me several times when I told him not to do that again. He defended that action.
And he admitted to beating Roscoe so hard and violently that his other dog fucking left the trailer in the dead of winter in February in Maine and ran into the woods after seeing her brother get his ass beat by this fucking piece of shit.
Exactly.
Now, ladies, these are all great points, but let's not forget about the softer side of Lorne. I mean, who among us didn't melt a little bit when he told his 13-year-old girlfriend that if she didn't clean up the pizza that he was trying to feed Bud, that he would have to suck her dick?
That's
Or how
right.
about the time that he told her that it was her responsibility to wake him up for a job interview? You know, she is a 13-year-old middle schooler, and if you can't rely on your 13-year-old middle school girlfriend to wake you up for your job interview, then she's really to blame as much as he is, don't you think?
Yeah, and yep.
And it's probably also worth mentioning that right about the time Lorne was driving to Bowling Green, Betty was probably making funeral arrangements because her husband had passed away. His heart stressed because they didn't have any money to finish the repairs on their house, much less any kind of a financial cushion, because somebody, I am not mindful of who it was now, decided to make off with their retirement savings.
And then said that he didn't owe her the money because, quote, somebody took it from him. And when I said that she is probably in financial ruin, the senior citizen lady is probably in financial ruin and probably really needs that money. Can you pay her back? And, you know, she's probably struggling from it. That's why she goes online, or suffering from it. I said to him, that's why she goes online and vents. He said, quote, and I quote, yeah, well, that fucking bitch can get a job. And I said, well, Lorne, she's an elderly lady. There ain't nothing wrong with her. I'm sorry, there ain't shit wrong with her. She can work. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
But guys,
And let's not forget the fact that,
I was just going to say, but you have to balance these memories of Lorne's colorful life with some of the good and virtuous things he's done. Why, who can forget all the times that he thought it was appropriate to send naked pictures of himself to a woman he knew was married with children?
Oh, and then had the nerve to say bad things about this woman's children. Oh, but also, let's not forget, he does not discriminate. He doesn't insult children. He also told me that talking to him was, quote, more important than my Nana's health. and told me, and she's, by the way, 96, and told me that I need to get off the phone with her. Several times he told me that I need to get off the phone with her. Oh, yeah, and also there's that whole thing about Christmas where he thought that I was at Christmas with, or, you know, in a different state for Christmas with my family, and at the time me and my mom were playing Scrabble and my Nana was singing to us. But it was more important for me to go into the bathroom so that I can sit on a shit-stained toilet and he could propose. And that was 1 month in. I shouldn't have said a shit-stained toilet. The only thing that's stained with shit is Lorne. I meant shit, Jeremy,
No,
you know, toilets are Jeremy. Would you, I mean, like literally, would you eat your dinner off of the toilet? I mean, maybe Lorne deserves to eat food out of the toilet, but.
If the other choice were to eat dinner with Lorne, I would have the dinner on the toilet.
The fact that I, as a nice person who at times has tried to help Lorne and has spent several hours giving Lorne advice, telling him good practical things that he should do. Lorne, focus on yourself. Lorne, take some time and focus on you. Lorne, instead of doing, you know, and I've told Lorne many times, do not love me, don't love me. You know, I'm not in love with you, don't be in love with me, you've never met me. I've told him that many times. Exactly. He is the same person. The only reason why he's not out trying to harm children is because he has probation officers who are kind of tracking him, sort of.
Yeah, this is a man with no value, no redeeming qualities as a human being, and no regard for anyone but himself and his disturbing appetites. And he merits nothing by way of compassion or mitigation of your rage. It's time to unload on him with everything you've got. And we've got almost 100 people listening now.
We really?
We do.
George probation officer is on. Hi, probation officer. Thank you for keeping Lorne off the street. I know that you guys are concerned with the fact that he has a whole community that's interested in him or whatever, but that's not as important as the fact that this guy really might be out trying to I just got a message from one of our fellow Lorne referees. But that is not as important as the fact that this guy would be out raping children right now if he were not being watched.
100%, man. 100%. So for all of these reasons and countless others, it's time. The time has come. You ready to give the world what they came for?
Let me read your guys' messages. Tell me what you guys think.
Well, we've got, yes, let's do it. He thinks we love him.
Yes, yes, yes. Mooney, you're doing a great job.
Can't believe I'm here for history, Mr. Wongberger. Tell Mrs. Wongberger to come join us too, Mr. Wongberger.
Wait, I'm not.
Yes, you got here in time, DeVario. Stay tasty.
And we
Because
think
my
that
Ramona.
you and
texted
Ramona
me up
deserve
north,
everything
you
that you
are.
both get. Ramona for being a pedophile sympathizer, and you for wanting to
All
fuck
right,
a little
thank you all
girl.
for your kind words.
So-
My probation officer and
You're
counselor,
giving comfort to
therapist,
this fucking
Brother Glenn,
pig
whoever else
who
decided
tried
to
to
join
fuck
us.
a little girl and
Okay, so
screamed
let's
at you for months.
give
Goddamn
Lauren
right.
a call.
You're
TJ
a
and I-
people.
Just fucking retard.
TJ,
Hunker down, buckle in, grab your popcorn.
Lauren?
You're not recording me with that stupid witch, are you?
Oh, Lauren, no, I'm not recording you with that. That's how you refer to women. That's real nice.
That I don't consider that a woman. I consider that a witch. That's why she likes octopus and she likes spiders. She can tangle people up in their web.
Nothing is wrong with spiders. Now, anyway, what was with all those?
They're disgusting, just like her.
Okay, what was with all those messages? Because see, these are things that you've said to me. These are things that you have called me. So now, as I was saying,
She wants to do stupid shit like that. She put my mom on the fucking internet. A 77-year-old woman that hasn't done anything to anybody. Are you fucking kidding me? How can anybody, especially a woman, explain that?
why is this the thing about women when you call women bitches and
just
whores?
get
and cunts?
him, Ramona. Just get him. Come on.
They're doing shit to me that I don't deserve. Fucking right, they fit the profile.
Okay, when you
You deserve
when
it,
you
Lauren.
called me those things,
Now,
but I guess
how did you get tangled up in her little web? How did she talk you into doing this shit?
you're not gonna talk to me like that.
Now, you can't answer the question? It's
No,
a question
no.
I asked you before, and you said you didn't. You're right to me.
No, you're not gonna talk to me like this. I am done with it.
You like what? Well, yeah, and so I should just accept what you've done and not be mad about it.
Lauren, for the last 9 months, all it has been is you drunk and texting me nasty shit. You've insulted my grandmother. You've insulted my parents. You've insulted my friends, all because they don't jive with your reality and because they take time away from you. You have been nothing but selfish.
I didn't record you, put you on the internet.
Lauren, I don't care if you record me. I have nothing to hide from what I've said to you.
Why are you trying to turn shit around?
No, I'm not trying to turn anything around.
You're certainly not explaining anything to me.
I don't owe you anything. I don't owe
Really? You don't owe me anything. After
What the
7
hell
months,
do I owe you?
after 7 months of us being on the phone, 8 to 10 to 12 hours a freaking day, and
I think,
rich get you involved in this shit?
Lord, I don't owe you
Yeah,
anything.
you're smarter than that.
What does my intelligence level have to do with you being entitled or thinking that you're entitled to get something from some bitch cunt piece of shit whore that you've never met?
Considering I let my whole self go with you,
Lord, how many times have I told you not to love me? How many times?
give me that bullshit. I'm
But how many
giving you
times?
line of fucking back ass bullshit.
Okay, well, how many times have I told you that?
Well, you don't think you owe me an explanation of why you lied to me so much?
And you don't owe me an explanation of why you've lied to me so much?
I haven't lied to you so much.
Really?
Obviously, I haven't lied to you anywhere near as what you lied to me, especially in these last 2 months.
So what was your reason to go to Dunkin' Donuts?
I explained that to you a long time ago. I was just stupid.
Yeah? Oh, just stupid.
Do it.
How was
And then-
going back to that when you're just going around trying to go around explaining to me about the stupid shit that you did?
Just do it.
Well, but see, here's the thing, though. I don't owe you an explanation for
And
anything.
you think I owe you one?
Well, I don't think you owe me anything.
Well, I think you do owe me an explanation of this bullshit.
Well, I don't owe you anything.
You've been leading me on, but this
Explain it
speaking
now.
along so you could gain my trust.
Yes.
Lorne, I
So
have
you,
told
so you
you.
can record me for her?
Lorne, I have
That thing?
as I was saying, and first of all, I'm not recording you. That's thing one. Thing two, I don't owe you anything. Thing three, you never let me get to thing three, so I don't have one. Now, as I was going to say, I don't owe you anything. I have told you so many times to go find somebody who's in your state.
For 7 months. You never told me that. For the last 2 months.
Are a
For the
liar.
last 2 months.
Lord, I have told you that. I even told you that before I hurt my knee. Remember back when I was so amazing?
Why are you not telling me how you did this shit?
Lord, I don't owe you anything.
Really? Went so far as to get my mom involved just to put it on the internet? You realize how disgusting that is?
Do you realize how disgusting you are? I sit there and I try and help you, right? And I try and get you to admit that you were going to go rape a child. You say, no, I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. I said, Lorne, it'll make you feel better if you admit it. No, I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it.
You're trying to get me to admit it so you can record me for her to put on there.
Lorne, everybody knows you were going to do it. Nobody's trying to record you to get you to
Nobody knew anything. Why did you
You
know
are
what was going on?
disgusting.
But why are you trying to you're trying to turn the shit all around again? You're famous for doing that. Turn shit around
Oh,
on me.
I'm famous now. That's pretty cool. I get to be famous. And you want to talk about your mom? You always like, well,
Sam Pendleton.
okay, if you're going to talk, then I'll let you talk. Otherwise,
I'm waiting for you to answer the question.
okay, again, if you're going to talk over me, I'll just let you talk to yourself.
I want to know how you got involved with her. How did she turn your head so you could do this shit to me?
Now, as I was going to say, you talk about, oh, well, you did this to my mom, and you did this to my mom. And how much money have you borrowed off of your poor 77-year-old mom who's on Social Security? But you don't think about that. You don't think about other people.
When I'm down, she's there. When she doesn't have money, I throw money at her.
When you're down, she's there. Well, how many times do you... What's it called?
It's called love.
Love. There's a difference between love and having to love.
I'm not going to explain that shit to you.
As I was saying, there's a difference between love.
You record me for her again.
As I was saying, there's a difference between love and having to loan your 47-year-old son money because he drank all of his money.
How about this millionaire therapist that you got? Sam Pendleton.
What?
This millionaire therapist that you got, Sam Pendleton. One with the elevator.
Okay, what about him?
Okay,
what about him? What about him? What about him? What about him?
Sam Pendleton. I know that. I know he played your therapist. That's the same voice. And I was always told that it was Sam Pendleton. And his husband.
Okay, what about a millionaire?
Amber's husband.
Okay, what about him?
So why don't you tell me why you lied to me?
Why don't you tell me why you lied to me so many times?
To get me worked up so that you could record me for Emma to put on the internet?
Well, you get yourself worked up. You're an alcoholic. That's what you do.
Because I believed in you.
Lorne, I have told you many times.
Not to believe in you?
It's not about believing in me. It's about you've never met me. Yes, I give you good advice. I've done that, and I've done a lot of nice...
I've never met you. That means you have to be dishonest and distrustful?
Well, you've never met me. Does that mean you have to call me a bitch, a cunt, a whore, a piece of shit when I don't answer your phone calls at 3 in the morning? Is that how you treat women? Oh, no. That's the old you. The new you...
You turn shit around. Instead of answering questions, you turn shit around. Take responsibility, Ramona. Remember you saying that?
Well, I have yet to see you do it. Remember, you tried to rape a kid because you didn't get mac and cheese.
Wow. Boy, I think I'm talking to Emma.
But I'm glad you believe in this pathetic bitch. But you believing in me has nothing to do with anything because you don't believe in me, and I don't need you to.
But I don't now. What reason do I have to believe in you now?
Lorne, I told you.
For the last 2 freaking months.
Lorne, I told you.
You let this thing get you caught up in the web so that she could record and put me on the internet.
Lorne,
And my mother. Isn't that disgusting? How could you let her do that to you?
Lorne, she didn't do anything to me. Lorne, I called you to be nice to you. I didn't call you to get a relationship out of it. What the hell?
You wound up with that. You wound up
Lorne, this is not a relationship.
You into recording me and lying to me.
Lorne, this is not a relationship.
Not anymore, eh?
Lorne, it never was. You don't know me.
Whose fault is that? Yours, not mine. You've had plenty of time to come up here.
Lorne, I did not want to come up. Lorne, I saw what kind of.
Why don't you tell me the truth?
As I was saying, I saw the kind of person you are, Lorne. I would never want to pain. Yeah, you're a violent, angry little man. And why would I want to go hundreds of miles, strangled by a registered sex offender, when I'm sure there's somebody here in my state who will do it
when I get pissed, and that's it.
You what?
So I get a mouth on me when I get pissed, and that's it. I'm far from violent.
Oh, okay. So rewind. Yeah. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so you've got a mouth on you. You've got a mouth on you when you get pissed.
Yep.
That's what you said.
Does.
Okay,
I'm not single out on that one.
You know what? I have had a lot of real boyfriends in real life. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I've had real boyfriends in real life, and I've made them mad because that's what happens. And none of them have ever called me a bitch, a cunt, a piece of shit, a whore. None of them. But then again, none of them had your issues. And what are your issues? Everything that you've done that you won't take responsibility for, like fucking stealing from old people.
Really?
Like fucking going an hour to try to have sex with someone who was underage. Everything that you've done. All these things you've done. Yeah, wow. I can't believe you did that.
Wow, I cannot believe you're throwing that shit in my face.
I'm not throwing it in your face, Lorne. These are things that you did, and these are reasons why.
You've been throwing shit in my face the last 2 months.
Lorne, you've thrown stuff in my face for the last however long.
Ever since you got your knee injury, somehow got hooked up with Emma. You've been throwing shit in my face.
Emma and the knee injury have nothing to do with me, have nothing to do with you. What has to do with you?
You like staying up all night long?
It's my choice. What has to do with you, Lorne?
You don't think
it's the fact
red there?
As I was saying, it's the fact that the therapist is not the only one that thinks you're a loser. Lorne, you've done nothing in life. What did I say to you the other day? Name one thing you've been successful at.
The fucking therapist.
Okay, well, the guy who called you a loser, Lorne.
You mean Sam Pendleton, the guy that you know who Sam Pendleton was?
You are an asshole to the maximum. You are someone who never takes responsibility for what they do. You will always blame other people for the position that you're in.
I always blame other people for fucking.
What?
I will always blame other people for recording me and putting me on the internet.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. Because I think, Dateline was the first to record you, but, yeah, they wouldn't have been recording you if you hadn't shown your dick to a 13-year-old.
There you go. Throw something in my face again. Can't get away from that?
But see, here's the thing, though. You can say whatever you want.
Why aren't you taking responsibility for the wrongs that you've done?
Because I haven't done any.
Really?
In this situation, I haven't.
You haven't lied to me?
Lorne, I have always told you. In fact, how many times have I told you that I loved you? Never. Not one time.
Yeah, you know why? because you've been playing me. So you can get with Emma and record me and put me on the internet. Isn't that smart? What did you two really get out of that?
Lorne, what did I get out of talking to you?
What is that?
As I was saying, okay, well, I can turn it back on you. What kind of thrill is it to call women no good pieces of shit? What kind of thrill is it?
What?
I said, what kind of thrill is it to call women no good pieces of shit? What kind of thrill is it to send your dick pic to any woman who will talk to you? What kind of thrill is that?
It's just me being stupid.
So see, you can just explain anything that you do away by saying, oh, I was stupid. I'm not now, but I was stupid.
Yeah, what do you want me to say? That was smart? Obviously it wasn't.
But see, but yet you did it.
Yeah,
and
you getting sent to Emma.
Do it. That has nothing to do with it. But like I said, you did it, and then you did it again, and then you continue to do it.
How long have you been sending stuff to Emma about me?
Don't ask me questions. I'm asking the questions.
Yeah, I'm asking the questions too. I'm asking the only one that has the right to ask the questions.
Oh, so I don't have the right to ask the questions?
You get the right to. It doesn't mean it is right.
Oh, so it's not, okay.
When you're the one who's been playing me for 9 months.
Well, you've been abusing me for 9 months.
I haven't been abusing you for 9 months.
Oh, okay. So what do we call every single weekend? Like clockwork.
You don't call what you've been doing abusing me?
As I was saying, every single weekend, like clockwork.
Because I come up with that, it's all of a sudden anyway. Because you would be abusing me more than I've been abusing you.
Lorne, all you
answer.
Expect me to sit on the phone with you all goddamn day. I've told you many times, well, get a life, get hobbies, get a job, do things outside of harass me all day.
Really?
Yeah, Lorne, I've told you that many times.
Oh, God. It's amazing.
Why would you think that someone half your age is going to put up with this for longer than I have, but whatever. Why do you think that somebody who's half your age is going to want to deal with this bullshit when there are guys who don't act like this, Lorne? And that's the thing I don't think you understand.
Because I thought you really felt something for me, and you wanted to see me through it.
Lorne, why should some woman in her...
You're the one who said you were going to stick with me.
Wait. Why should some woman in her 20s see you through your issues and she's not getting...
I did not contact you. You contacted me.
Lorne,
I keep saying some woman in her 20s.
Okay, as I
contacted you.
I texted you, and then you insisted that I call you, but that wasn't good enough. You wanted to talk to me every single day. I did not want that.
Oh, you didn't? So why'd you keep calling me?
Well, you called me.
Oh, you never called me?
Yes, Lorne, I have called you before, but 9 times out of 10.
That's kind of a two-way street, then.
As I was saying, truly, 9 times out of 10, you would call me.
Oh, God.
Truly, 9 times out of 10, you would call me.
Man, amazing how you've done nothing wrong, huh?
Well, what I did wrong was spend hours on the phone with you that I should have been doing other things, I'm sure. I'm sure I could have found better things to do.
And you don't think that recording me and giving it to Emma, so she could put it on the internet, you don't think that was wrong?
I didn't record you now.
Oh, so you just had Emma on the phone so she could record me all the time.
As I was saying, and I doubt that she has that kind of time.
Well, she must have had it when you were talking to my mom, telling her all that and things that I had said.
Yeah. Imagine that you thought that your mom was going to come on and say.
How did that happen, Ramona?
As I was going to say, you thought that your mom was going to come on and say, "Oh, my son is amazing. Oh,
You got to turn it around again instead of taking responsibility.
As I was saying, oh, my son is amazing. He just wants to, he's just misunderstood. That's probably what she thought she was going to say. And I was going to say, oh, well, Lorne, since your mom says that you're amazing, I'm catching the next flight to Maine. Here I come.
Turn around again so you don't answer the question.
But after this conversation, Lorne, you never have to worry about me calling you ever again.
I know. The only way you're going to be real to me is if you can actually come up here. I can't do anything about it. I told you that. I was being honest with you when I told you.
Well, I'm not coming up to visit.
Nothing I can, of course not. You're getting all the information you want so you can give it to Emma to put it on the internet.
Yeah, because my whole life revolves around Emma posting videos on YouTube.
It has for the last 2
money
months.
whatsoever.
It has for the last 2 months. Evidently it has before that. Somehow some other shit about that was supposed to be only between me and you wound up on the internet. How's the answer for this happening? Is it just magically winding up in Emma's hands?
I don't know. I don't care. But I don't want...
Your phone got hacked. Sure it did.
Well, Lorne, here's the thing.
You can't take responsibility for the lies that you told me.
Here's the thing, though.
You want me to
you're going to keep talking over me, so go ahead. Go ahead. You're going to keep talking over me, so go ahead. Here, talk to yourself.
Might as well. You don't take responsibility for anything. Anything you've done wrong, you certainly don't want to take responsibility for it. I haven't heard you do it once. I'm done listening to myself talk. Go ahead if you want to.
Oh, thank you for giving me permission to talk.
I'm not giving you permission. I say if you want to. What was yours?
Oh, yeah, thank you. That's real kind of you. I don't need your permission to talk. But see, here's the thing, though. You keep finding yourself in situations because you want to blame me for this and that and whatever.
Any of you guys who are talking shit or who don't like this, fuck off. Fuck off. We don't want you here. Go play around. Go comfort your pedophiles, okay? Fuck you. Say some shit to me in this chat and take a fucking walk right afterwards. I will pause this shit and I will shut it down. So fuck you guys. You don't like it? You can kiss my asshole.
Abusing me, I'm like, oh my God, is this guy out of his fucking mind? Like, why would you think somebody would want to be with that? That is insane. And then you tried to tell me, well, can you just love me? You should try to love me. Why the hell would I love someone who has insulted my nana, who has insulted my family, who has insulted me numerous times? Why would I want to be with that?
Why would I want to be with somebody that's recording me and giving it to Emma? Or allowing Emma to record me? But lying to me in the last 2 months about don't know who Sam Pendleton is, my therapist. And God knows how many other lies you told me in the last 2 months. Why would I want to be with that? But you don't take responsibility for it, and you constantly tell me I need to take responsibility for my actions. How did Emma ever wind up getting you to do stupid shit like this?
Well, Emma has never gotten me to do anything. I don't do anything I don't want to do.
So you wanted to record me to put me on the internet. You wanted to record my mom to put my mom on the internet.
Lorne, one good thing I have done is I've exposed you. That way women in Maine, when you approach them, they'll know what they're getting themselves into. Because on the outside, I mean, if a woman doesn't have on her glasses, she might think you're cute. And if you talk to her and you tell her about, oh, well, I was sidelined. Dateline is so mean, and and they did this and that to me, and mac and cheese, and meatballs, and big balls, and blue balls, and Santa Claus, and deviled eggs, and Easter egg hunts, and dinner hunts. If you tell them that kind of stuff, they'll believe you because you're very manipulative. Okay? So if she doesn't have her glasses on, she'll think you're cute. If you tell her those things, you know, you can manipulate her, tell her about how Nikki stole from you, et cetera, but any woman who hears you call me a bitch, a cunt, a piece of shit, a whore, and no good trash, and still has anything to do with you, she gets what the hell she deserves.
And you don't think that somehow they can connect you with Emma?
What does me and Emma have to do with that?
People on the internet already know. They know all about you being hooked up with Emma.
Boy,
They know you've had connections with Emma. That is about the worst person on the internet to ever have connections with. How could you ever let her talk you into doing stupid shit?
Well, nobody talks me into doing anything. Remember how you tried to talk me into going to the bathroom on Christmas Eve?
Wait, what?
You proposed to me while I sit and look at the toilet. Remember that? Remember all the times I was hanging out with my friends? You tried to, walk away from them. To talk to you because you think you're more important than everybody. Remember all the times when you tried to get me to call you.
Remember all the times that I thought our conversations were between me and you, not me and you and the rest of the world.
As I was saying, Lorne, when you start calling women bitches and cunts and sluts, you better be damn proud of what you're saying because it has every right to end up on the internet so no other woman deals with you.
But you know what the sad thing is you actually got me out of doing that.
Well, it's not my job to get you out of doing that.
You helped me out in that matter. I'm not going to say you didn't, because you did, except for Emma.
Well, it is not my job.
I call her a bitch to the end until the day I die.
I'm sure you will, because that's how you think of women. And I'm sure there's other women. No, but there's other women who you're like that too.
You mean like Nikki? Yep. Anybody that's heartless as that, and cold.
And I guess heartless is what?
They get what they deserve when they want to act like stupid dumbasses.
Well, what do you deserve? What do you deserve to be called? What do you deserve to be called?
Sometimes I deserve to be called an asshole. Sometimes I deserve to be called a piece of shit. It all depends on the way I act. If I act like a piece of shit, then I deserve to be called a piece of shit. If I act like an asshole, I deserve to be called an asshole. I can handle it.
See, it's not about
bitch, then they can deserve to be called a bitch.
And Lorne, that is why you will never have a girl who truly loves you, because that is who you are. You are somebody who says that kind of stuff about women. You're somebody who doesn't respect women. You don't respect yourself, much less women. You drive drunk.
I don't respect people that screw me over. I have no respect for people that will constantly want to screw people over.
And what about people?
I know what you're going to say.
What?
I know I want to screw her over, and I do plan to pay her back as soon as I can.
You never wanted to screw her over. What?
I said you don't even need to go there because I already know what you were going to say.
No, but first of all, I wasn't even going to say that. But yeah, okay, let's talk about the lady who you owe more money than you'll probably make in the next 5 years.
Oh, thanks for that vote of confidence there. I didn't talk to you.
Okay, how long ago did you steal the money, and how much have you paid? Oh God, a whopping $120. Well, she should be down on her knees and sucking your dick for that $120 that you paid her out of $30,000, because you were doing so well. If that was some kind of loan, that $30,000 would now be what, $20 million?
That's just clever. That's just a clever one.
What am I, a clever bitch? Say it. Say what you want to say. Say everything you want to say.
Again.
Say it. Say it. Say what you want to say.
Turn shit around again. Always turn shit around on me. Yeah, you can't take responsibility for your own actions.
always turning shit around on you. So when I would wake up in the morning with, 300 text messages, 20 voicemails, 50 calls. I mean, those are literally things that you've done to me. And then I would say, Lorne, why'd you do this? Oh, I was drunk. Get over it. That would be your response.
When you weren't drunk, you had him on the phone recording me and my mom. When you was not drunk, you were stone cold sober.
Okay.
Wow. That is far worse than anything I have ever done to you drunk.
Oh, okay. So because something happens to you, something's worse. I see how it is.
To me.
So you could.
77-year-old woman that's never done anything to anybody. Then stop to think about that, huh?
Oh, and about
so wound up in her fucking brain that
you
stop
care
to think
so much
about a 77-year-old woman that's never done anything.
So much about this 77-year-old woman that you wouldn't return her call. You care her car. You care so much. Her car. Car. How about that? Car. That's what you were saying. No, I'm taking car. You're not going anywhere.
I did not say that.
You can't. Yes, you did.
You're obviously putting words in my mouth.
Okay, as I was saying, you care so much about this 77-year-old fucking woman that you called her a 77-year-old fucking woman.
I did not in terms you're saying.
Okay, you said a 77-year-old fucking woman.
I said it to you.
Oh, okay, so you can say whatever you want about something to me.
I keep trying off I turn this around on me again. Don't imagine that one.
Well, I'm not trying to turn anything around on you. I'm just trying to get you to realize what a shitty person you are, and why do you expect so much more than what you give?
I'm a shitty person.
Yes.
You, the one person that I believe in, turn around and record me for Emma to put on the internet, and turn around and record my mom to get to Emma to put on the internet.
You are a shitty person.
But I'm a shitty person.
You are a shitty person because
I'm a shitty person.
If you'd let me speak. Go ahead. Say what you want.
I don't need to say anymore. I already said it.
As I was going to say, you are a shitty person because you have tried to fuck over every demographic. You owe senior citizens money. You tried to fuck a kid. You put your dog on a treadmill. You called a Latina lady a pinche puta, whatever. You said that I sound too intelligent to be black. You didn't say those exact words, but that's what you said. Oh, I didn't know you were black. I would never guess that. Yes, you did. When I told you I was black, you were shocked.
Now you're putting words in my mouth. I said you don't sound like any black woman that I've ever heard. I said you sound more like a white woman.
Okay, I sound like a white woman is racist code for you sound black.
Anything racist about it. It's just the way people talk. There's nothing racist about it.
Lorne.
Well, I cannot believe you're trying to put words in my mouth. Isn't that amazing? If I was racist, do you really think I'd fall in love with the image of a black woman?
Yeah, because you want to put your dick in a racist black woman.
There's nothing racist about me. Literally nothing.
Well, guess what? I did hear from, dear Emma, that you got cut off from the road by a black guy and you called him the N-word.
Well, you heard that, huh?
Yeah, I heard that.
I'm glad you heard that because I never heard it. Of course you heard it from Emma.
It did happen.
She don't lie about anything, does she?
Lorne, why would she have
I'm so honest.
Lorne, why would she have
remember why?
About that?
Why? Did you think about that?
If she were lying about that, I'm sure she would have thought of something better.
Really? It couldn't happen to be that because you're black, Emma wants to make me look negative to you.
Lorne, you make yourself look negative to me more than anybody else possibly ever could have in the world, in the entire universe, on the planet.
What you've done doesn't make you look negative to me.
Well, I don't care how I look to you. I really don't.
That's obvious. You've shown that in the last 2 months.
Well, good.
How doesn't she ever talk you into doing this stuff?
Lorne, she doesn't have to talk me into doing anything.
So you wanted to do this stuff?
Lorne, I see the type of person that you are. You have not.
don't see the type of person that I am because you're not here to see me.
Lorne, you have not.
You are not here to spend time with me in person.
Lorne, I don't need to be in person with you to see that you're a crappy human being. You are abusive in every way. You just thought that you.
That's
I know, you're floored. You're floored. You just thought that I was too dumb to see it because of my age.
No. You are so far from the truth. It's unbelievable. You believe what you want to believe. You got Emma on the brain. You had her on the brain. I don't know how the hell she ever talked you into doing stupid shit like this, Bob. I mean, it shocks the hell out of me. Never ever for a minute thought that you would do something like this for her.
Well, I'm not doing this for her.
Especially after you already knew what all the stupid shit she had already done.
Hopefully, as I was saying, hopefully women in Maine are aware of you, because I really would not want a woman in Maine to have, let's say, a guy coworker who she has to constantly hear horse things about.
To be with somebody that just wants an honest woman, huh?
Well, but you're not giving honesty. You're not giving shit. You don't have shit to offer anybody. Women are not stupid.
Oh, let me see. I'm not your fake doctor that has so-called millions of dollars, or this fake therapist that has so-called millions of dollars.
Or your fake fucking internet Ramona girlfriend, Lorne. This is all fake. What the hell, Lorne? How long does it take you to figure this shit out? Yes, I have a boyfriend. I've had one for years, and it's not you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I finally got the truth out of you.
I fucking love him to death. And you know what? I'm going to marry someone who's not a registered sex offender. I'm going to be with someone who doesn't try to fuck children.
Are you?
And you know what? And you know what? And you know what? And you know what? No, on Christmas, I was not with my mother and grandmother. That wasn't the year for us to go to my parents' house. We went to his fucking parents' house. And while we're at his fucking parents' house, you're like, hey, I went to the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, God, if your mother sees this, I don't want her to see my phone. And guess what? I'm not 24. I'm not 25. I'm in my 20s, but guess what? You'll never know where. But guess what? I'm older than 25. But I figured if I was going to be friends with a registered sex offender, I'd have to make it as low as I want. Oh, and guess what? The doctor, the neighbor's cousin, all of that, they never existed. Oh, and finally, you want the biggest shock? My name's not Ramona.
It's Tracy.
Ramona Quimby. No, it's not even Tracy. Ramona Quimby is a girl from books that I used to read when I was a kid. And guess what? Your fake girlfriend is even a child, you kitty fucker.
Is it what? Are you fucking... You call me a kitty fucker. This is why you hooked up with Emma. You've been with Emma ever since fucking day one.
Well, I've been with Emma ever since day negative 35. I've known her for I don't know how long, watching these videos of you trying to rape a kid. But the point was never for you to fall in love with me. I tried to tell you not to. I tried to tell you many times I don't want to be with you. So you just had to have Ramona Quimby and her 8-year-old tight pussy.
I didn't even know who Ramona Quimby was. This is just... Yeah, I would rather have had you as an honest friend.
Lord, I tried to be that. You tried.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You wasn't honest from day one.
Lorne, I tried to be your friend.
You told me your name was Ramona from day one.
Lorne,
again, you didn't tell me you had a boyfriend.
You are a horrible person. I tried to be your friend.
You are a horrible person. You're the one that's the
I might be a horrible person. I might be a horrible person, but I didn't steal from the elderly, and I don't have registered sex offense or tried to rape a kid on my back.
You really think that I would steal from it? I never meant to do anything that happened with that.
Yeah, you never meant to do it, but you still did it. You still brought condoms. You still giggled like a little 13-year-old. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sitting there, you can bring condoms. Dude, I brought condoms.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that you do this stuff.
It's unbelievable that you would have hooked up with Emma to fucking do any of this shit.
Well, I didn't try to do anything.
And especially to my mother. Why would you do that to my mother?
I feel bad for her. So don't bring her in.
Why didn't you think about that before you put a goddamn voice on the internet?
I feel bad for her because she had
fucking disgusting.
That's what I feel bad for.
That is so fucking disgusting. It's unbelievable. And you know what? That Michelle, her name isn't Michelle, but I'm not going to tell you what her real name is.
I don't care what her real name is.
She's an elderly lady that's married. That's sitting there right on that said when it came to a point that they put your mother's voice on the internet, that's when I got so upset I had to write to you to let you know what was going on.
Lorne, I have been telling you for months, nobody from the internet wants anything to do with you. You even tried to say, well, if you don't do this, then I'll date Katie or so-and-so from the internet. I'll date this person from the internet. So Lorne,
you even tried to get me to do more on the internet. Where the hell was Emma? Oh, they want to hear from you. They want to hear from you.
Oh, you seem to like doing
this. You're kidding me. You're just as disgusting as Emma.
I'm sure I am.
Is that it? Did he hang up? Was that it? Fuck you, Lorne. That was great.
Okay, guys, Lorne has hung up.
That was beautiful. How did it feel, Ramona? How did it feel?
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. This guy.
Tell us what you're feeling right now. Tell us what you're thinking.
Oh wow, this guy is a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody just said we all know this isn't the end. Oh my God, I don't see what could come back out of this. Oh Lord. Oh,
how's everybody feeling? Let's hear from the crowd.
Yeah, we haven't heard.
The white stuff came out. Yeah. Lorne was in denial, and then he finally got upset, says Xander. $10 says he calls back, says the last tanker.
I need to talk to my therapist. Just found out that you were live streaming my call. So sad. Shout out to the pedophile sympathizer. Yeah, shout out to you.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, if you're one of those people listening in who thinks you're helping Lorne out by telling him about our operation here or anything that's been going on.
I'm sorry.
Congratulations. You're being a friend to a disgusting child rapist, con man, who's made his whole life sucking off the other people and using other people.
People can't hear. People can't hear. Emma, I think you're muted or something. Can you hear Sam? Who's Sam?
Yeah, can anyone hear old Sammy? Maybe.
They still saying they can't hear her. Do you hear Ramona?
Just can't hear Ember, they're saying. Yeah, they can hear me, they can hear Ramona, they can't hear Ember.
That's
So
okay.
yeah, one thing that has touched me in places that Lorne wants to touch little girls is the fact that I've seen so many comments from people who they themselves or a friend of theirs has had some horrible child molestation story, and you know, seeing this kind of stuff makes them, kind of gives them some kind of therapeutic value, and to me that really means a lot, and I'm happy that it provides that. Can you guys hear me still? You guys hear me?
Yeah, they can hear us. They just were having trouble hearing Ember, so hopefully Ember will come back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reception that I've gotten as well from people in the group, in the community, that it's cathartic for them and it's therapeutic for them to hear people say things to a would-be child rapist that they wish they'd been able to say to people, and that's a tremendous value in my view. I think that's a legitimate argument in support of the fuck them Preds side, to borrow a term from the debate over last weekend.
And I mean, you know, Lorne is out with the general public, and you know, I don't want him harming kids or anything like that, or adults even. But the fact of the matter is that this is not a changed guy. This is not a guy who is any different than he was when he got caught on Dateline. This is not a guy who is any different than any of that. The only difference is that his vehicles for abusing children have all been stripped away from him.
Right.
That's the difference. And his vehicles for abusing women are still there. They're very much still there. And hopefully any woman who Googles any of the guys who are in To Catch a Predator, but especially Lorne, because he is that manipulative, and he's very manipulative. And a woman who has a lower IQ might fall for that kind of stuff. He has to be out in the general public, and he has to be productive. But does that mean that he is entitled to high-paying jobs and really nice homes and being around people's children and having the respect of his community? No. I mean, there are certain things, as I've told him before, there are certain things that are irredeemable. And committing crimes like that against children are just one of them.
Right. Yeah, I want to share something with, I think we can all intellectually understand where the leave them alone people are coming from, and this isn't directed at, and it's not directed at the esteemed panelists from the debate, but it's something that I think that the hardline leave them alone people, the ones who say the poor guy's done his time or he's paid his dues, those are the people that I'm talking to now. And I just want to recount something that Ember said over the weekend, and something that I've been saying that a lot of people have been saying for years, which is that all we want is for this guy to own who he is and what he is. And it would be real simple for him to say, I wanted to fuck a little girl. And if he were willing to just own that piece of it, like, I'll never be his friend, I'll never cheer for the guy, I'll never hope for his best or any of that, because he's a cipher. He's just a non-entity. He's an intrinsically bad person. But at least if he would man up enough to say, yeah, I wanted to go fuck a little girl, that would change the landscape of Lorneography dramatically, probably put an end to it. He's never been able or willing to even go that far. That one admission, full admission of his guilt and the real motivating force behind what he did. And it's for that reason that we say we can't let up on the guy, because as long as he's able to delude himself like that, then the world needs people to balance that delusional evil by calling him out at every opportunity. And if this is the only way to do it, then at least it's holding him to some small measure of justice.
And one thing that I'd like to say to the pedophile sympathizers who are in the room, I know there's a lot of you guys, is, you know, I guess you guys don't think about how it would be if it was your child or if it was you who he victimized. And so it's easy to point the finger and say, well, they should just let him go. I mean, he paid his dues to society. No, he didn't, because he still owes a widow who's in her 70s tens of thousands of dollars. So he hasn't paid his dues. You know, he's still going around spreading lies about what happened and trying to pass it off as if, well, Dateline was involved. Well, NBC's fault. Well, NBC did this. Well, Dateline did this. But what did you do? Because Dateline didn't just walk into your house and say you're on camera and arrest you. I mean, think about how far you have to go in order to be on that show. You have to make contact. That's the very first thing you have to do, is you actually have to be the first one to make contact with someone. And then the very first thing they do is they say their age. They're 12, they're 13, they're 14. That means run. But that didn't happen. There was a month of calls, a month of video footage, a month of pictures, a month of jerking off at the computer.
That's right.
And trying to scar a kid. And that alone would scar a kid. But that alone, back then, I do not think would have gotten anything more than maybe a call from the Popos. I mean, I really don't think that would have caused him to get in any trouble at all, because I think back then a lot of people, and even now probably a lot of people, live out, let's say, deviant-type fantasies through vehicles like the internet and like phone.
Something that a little thought exercise for everybody, and I made this point before, but it leads to what I think is a more intriguing point for people to consider. I've talked about how it took 90 minutes for Lorne from making first contact with Kayla to sending her pictures of his penis, and he was talking about coming to see her within the first 3 days of the chat log. The only reason it took him a month is because the decoy had to make it take that long because of the sting. But there's no doubt from studying the chat log that he would have gone to see her after 3 or 4 days if the opportunity had been there. So we're talking about 4 days. Within 4 days, Lorne was able to work out the ethical issue of going to see a 13-year-old for sex. Okay, he had 36 years before he ever talked to Kayla. If we see what he's able to do in 4 days in terms of justifying his intent to himself morally, God knows what he was able to justify to himself in those 36 years that came before. And whenever we talk about the possibility that Lorne may have done something to a child before the sting, I want everybody to also think about the fact that this man is clearly delusional. And that even if he says, I never did anything to a kid, just because he believes that, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. because it's entirely possible that he's convinced himself that something that he did do before the sting was in some way ethically justifiable. Food for thought.
Oh, no, I agree. I was just sending a message to... I'm fucking texting.
No sweat. Do we have Ember on the phone still?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Ember, they're still... our audience of millions is still having a little trouble hearing you. Miss Ember. Caught us, Ember. So, but
yeah,
I want to
I'm on the phone, so I don't know if it's having anything to do with my voice being so low, but this is so great.
Yeah, something. What a special night for all of us to share together.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I was just about to address something, and I see a question about it. I am not, never, ever going to release any nudies of Lorne, the butthole video. That's the only thing I'm not going to do. I will release everything. I will tell everything else, but I will let his butthole stay a secret. He shouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have been sending that to. Well,
anyone on Earth?
I'm the only one. Well, I'm the only one who has seen his literal asshole. Okay, and I won't.
Yeah, but we've all seen his face, so we've all still seen the ugliest part of him.
Well, that's true.
I thought that was Lorne.
We've seen his personality.
Yeah, that's true.
What is
right.
Heisenberg White talking about? Heisenberg White, what are you talking about?
Oh, that guy's crazy. North Korea launched missiles over Japan. Well, if he's right, that's troubling.
Is he right?
Anyway, well, this isn't the news, so, but that is important.
This is better, more important news, anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's get some comments from the chat room. Let's see here. What do we got? We got any, it's okay if you don't release that, Ramona, says Princess Kitsu. There are some things you just can't unsee. Triforce says, will you just release the pictures to the hacker, please? And no, probably not. KK says, great job, Ramona. Your phone was hacked. Stick to that.
Oh, thank you.
Coldwater Hunter wants to know what's wrong with Lorne's pubes. Garth Armstrong says his asshole is a piece of shit. Buchanan Baxter says Lorne was by far the most delusional predator.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Heisenberg White says, wow, Lorne is so mad he started World War III.
Oh, God.
Let's see. Why are you against releasing the photos, videos? Phil DeGrave asks Sam Pendleton. Yap. That's all you people do. I'm guessing he wants me to ask Ramona. Ramona, why are you against releasing the photos / videos?
I just, even though Lorne has tried to violate, I guess I have like one tiny shred of respect for Lorne. I think that is, what's the question? What will my role in the teacup? Yes, you guys will hear from me. I'm Ramona. I created the Ramona character, and the doctor, and the neighbor, and the neighbor's cousin, and the therapist was a brainstorm of Ember and I, and it was my idea to hire Sam. You're welcome, Sam. You can pay me anytime now.
I'll get that check right out to you. It's going to be going on Lorne Armstrong's bank, so it'll be good to keep.
Is it going to be a limit of $300?
No, it's going to be, how much did Nikki steal from him? It's going to be that amount. You're going to make it a large sum.
Supposedly, 9,000. Supposedly.
All right, let's see. What else do we have here? They want Dustin. Who would you like to see next? If you guys could have Ramona work her magic on another predator, any predator from the Predatorverse, who would be your next choice? I've already seen a shout out for Dustin. Somebody would want you to go after Dustin. Who else?
Oh God, oh gosh.
Ramona, go after. Thank you, Zachary. Thank you for that wonderful compliment. Who else would you guys like to see?
Wait, Nick Bagels, your girlfriend shops at the same vegan bakery as I do. Which one? Nick Bagels, which vegan bakery? Tell me.
In the meantime, Nick Badler says Shinster. He'd like you to see you work over Shinster. Coke Winner says Jeff Stacy. Michael Hamilton wants to see James Klein. Another vote for Jeff Stacy. Mickey Mouse, which is Donald Morrison.
Oh my God, Nick Bagels, your girlfriend goes to Vegan Treats. I love that place. Why is it so freaking far away? Oh my God, they're amazing.
Heisenberg White wants Westerbeck next. Coldwater Hunter wants Warwicker next. John Wesley Elliott, DMAC, Jeff Stacy. I think DMAC and Jeff Stacy are probably the top two, the two predators that most people would like to see Project Ramona unleashed on. Dr. Wolin, yeah, that would be good. Resta Cruz would be, I think that one would just be sad. He would just be crying the whole time. David Schumacher. Yeah, Jeff Stacy wins. Ramona, how familiar are you with Jeff Stacy?
How was I? I've only heard some sound, but actually I've seen all of the episodes of TCAP, but I have.
Stacy's your boy. You need to make that your next project. I'll fund it.
Oh, gosh.
I'll fund it out of all the money I made as a therapist.
But see, the funny thing is that this was never meant to be a project. This was literally meant to be me being nice to this guy, and for months and months and months and months and months, I talked to him, and then
you realize that he's a disgusting child rapist,
he got all sorts of drunken stuff that he sent me, all sorts of beautiful drunken stuff that he sent me. And then I reached out to Ember and I said, guess what? And she was like, are you Ramona? And I'm like, yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, let's give a round of applause to both Ramona and Ember. These are the two architects of this project. These are the masterminds that made it happen. And we got to take our hats off to Miss Ramona for all the countless hours she spent on the phone with this man over the last year, putting up with his nonsense.
Yay! Thank you, Sam. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have. I looked for the Lorne footage over and over again after it had been deleted, and then I found your interview and asked about it, and you were the one to let me know what had happened to the footage. And then after that, I saw one of Crestfallen's parody videos, and I thought, hey, I could do that, and I really want to do that. So I jumped in with both feet and decided that I wanted to get new Lorne content also, and I did. So thank you so much, because if it weren't for you being the catalyst to the community, courage. So it's great to have been caught up with all of these great people, and some of these know-nothings with assholes for mouths can keep farting out of them, because the good people will always be around and make themselves known.
Well, I appreciate those kind words, but Ember, if it weren't for you, modern Lornography wouldn't exist. We would still be sucking on the dried up teats of the Lornegasm and whatever other feeble material. Our entire access to new information would consist of 3 RSO pictures a year. So you're the reason that modern Lornography exists. And
thank you. I'm happy to have been something to do with the book of, we were calling it the New Testament of Lornography, so Ramona's entry must be like the Book of Mormon equivalent, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I guess so. I don't back about a year ago when this was all different, they pushed for the Book of Durango to be the Lornography equivalent. I got a good question from Exalted One, and Exalted One, I got your email today, by the way. Thank you very much for that. I will respond. But Exalted One says, will this and all the other unreleased vids go up on YouTube? Well, we have to get that answer about all the unreleased stuff from Miss Ramona. I can say that this video, I probably will take it down for now I've already made the other video private, the live stream from a couple of weeks ago that was on my channel. The reason for that is we do need to lay low for a little bit because Lorne, having been made aware of a number of things, probably the best thing to do is to lay low for a little while. I'll let Ember ultimately be the decider on that, though, of course, but that's probably what will happen. That's my prediction. But as for the other information, all the other material, that's Ramona's question to answer.
Yeah, it's likely, as far as my stuff is concerned, that it'll be released in clips, because I know from my comments and during the live streams and private messages on Facebook that sometimes it's difficult to listen to a 7-hour call, even in parts, because it's something that people will listen to in the background and might miss a gem because they're completing an assignment. So I'm thinking of releasing just the good stuff, the clips, from what I have. And I wanted to address a quick question from Coldwater Hunter, who asked if Lornography was dead now. And to that I answer with, Lorne has ascended into the heavens. But just as Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John did with the Gospels, we're going to be looking for him in the skies for 200 years and writing about it. And I don't believe that it will ever be dead as long as creative, hilarious shit like what Arrested Development just came out with keeps coming.
Is he here?
I don't know if he was able to make it, but he is one to whom I will be sure a copy of this goes, because I know Ramona enjoyed that video and my mom loved it. She said, "Is the baloney coming out of his crotch?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "Ew, it has that white stuff that baloney has on it, but from Lorne it's probably yeast." So she loves to make fun of Lorne too. It's a family affair.
And that's good that it brings families closer together and introduces people to friends and.
Yeah, a lot of real legitimate relationships have been born out of TCAPism and Lornography. It's astounding.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great that these horrible subhuman human beings, that our collective fascination with their evil and ineptitude ends up yielding so many positives in the lives of decent human beings.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, it's wonderful. The thing that I joke about is just don't tell them how you met.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And by the way, to add on to what Ember said, if there's some intrepid young actress out there who decides to catfish Lorne like a week from now, we all know that he will 100% go for it. So we may have another Ramona project in like 10 days, starting up in like 10 days when he falls for it again.
Oh no. But I've tried to help the guy. I mean, I've told him, get off the internet. I've given him great advice. He just doesn't listen. And I mean, he's just set in his way of destruction, so much so that he won't listen to reason. Lorne, get off the internet. Lorne, focus on yourself. Lorne, do this, do that. Think about your future. Think about your life. Stop worrying about what someone who's half your age is doing. Like, where were you last night? Lorne, don't worry about what I'm doing. Focus on yourself. And try to give him tips and hints on how to do just that. And it always fell on deaf ears. And, you can only help a person so much. They've got to want it themselves. I mean, I'm in physical therapy right now for my knee. I'm in physical therapy right now for my knee. If I decide that while I,
9 months from me.
Go roller skating, even though I just had a new ACL put in a week and a half ago, my physical therapist sent me out. They can't. You want me to call I decide you can ask her. I'm going to walk without crutches or not use a wheelchair at this time. They can't ask me the same thing. They're trained to be able to help me. They have the qualifications to be able to help me. But if I don't answer their help and do what they say, oh, hi, Mr. Wongberger. Hello, PT, Mr. Wongberger. If I don't listen to them and do what they say and come to my sessions, then there's nothing at all that they can do. And that's really similar with Lorne, whereas I've tried to help him, tried to give him advice, tried to tell him things that would make his life easier, and he refuses to hear it. There's really nothing that I could do at that point.
Yeah, what's ironic is how much potential there actually was for Lorne to take the experiences he's had with this community and use them to better himself. Some of the things the therapist said to him were things he needed to hear. Some of the things the therapist said to him were things we needed to hear. But some of the things were...
Oh, Mr. Wahlberger, I'm sorry. He said, he wrote a sweet comment. Where is it? It's going so fast. I'm sad now. I thought the knee stuff was part of the act. Nope, not one little tiny bit. I really did injure my knee back in 2015, and I just had a new ACL put in, and it's been a long road. And I temporarily injured the other knee, which prompted me to really get good medical attention on the first knee, because they just basically said, you might have torn a meniscus, and kind of dismissed me. But then they saw, nope, the ACL was almost completely torn off. So, yep, that is real. And, and with Lorne, there are some things that I did tell him that are real, like that. Of course, I'm a vegan. I didn't shield him and completely make up a new character. I mean, obviously, I didn't want him to know my name and certain things like that. But, I was transparent on a lot of things and told him, some things about myself.
Right. Buchanan Baxter wants to know, Ramona, what are you going to do with all this freed up time you're going about to have now that Lorne's gone?
I don't even know what I'm going to do myself. I don't know. I might have to go rape a child. I don't know what to do. Isn't that what people do when they're bored?
No, it's just what they do when they get screwed over on pasta dishes and meatballs, and I think there were some deviled eggs in there somewhere.
And that's the thing. Remember when I was telling, it was a true story that my fucking second grade teacher did not crack open that piñata. My mom got us a really nice piñata. Well, me, for my class in second grade, she got us a really, really nice piñata. Had all sorts of candy inside, and she was like, this is so cute. I'm not going to crack it open, although she probably did crack it open and took the candy home to her kids. But, she's like, this is so cute. I'm not going to crack it. And I'm so pissed off about that right now talking about it. So, maybe to make up for that, I don't know.
You should rape a kid, I think.
Well, no. I think maybe I should steal $30,000 from some senior citizens. What do you guys think? Why
don't you go halfway and do half of each? Steal $15,000 from somebody and just flirt with a kid.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's a great idea. Because, I was screwed over, and I'm really messed up from that. So.
Yeah, not your fault, man.
Yeah.
Heisenberg White has a great question. At any point, and you can be honest about this.
Okay, I will.
At any point, on any level, did Lorne ever genuinely charm you?
Yes, and I will be absolutely honest. There have been many times where I have enjoyed talking to Lorne. There have been many times where I've enjoyed talking to Lorne. As far as charm, let me think about that word, charm.
While you think about that word, let me answer SMU Johnson's question real quick. Serious question for Sam. Is Lorne stupid? Lorne found out today that the girl he's been talking to for 9 months, that all of this has been getting posted online, that Ember, who pretended to be his best friend, was actually working for the other side. And after all of that, was halfway on the hook to being talked back into continuing a relationship with Ramona before she finally revealed it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll let you guys decide if Lorne is stupid or not. Oh yeah, and he thought that 5 different decoys were the same person.
Freckle Pat is really telling the truth. Lorne was pretty lucky to have Ramona as his state. Could have been so much worse. Legitimately tried to positively influence it, and that's absolutely true. Lorne didn't actually hang up on Ramona. It was just the call being disconnected. But anyway, that is absolutely true. I did try to positively influence his life, and you know, I mean, there would be times when I would say to myself, like, why am I doing this? Like, why, you know, like, why am I sitting down and breaking it down to him? And he'd say many times, you know, nobody else has ever broken it down like this. Nobody else has ever sat down and broken it down for me so that I could understand it. And I would say at times, like, why am I doing this? And I could never understand the why, but it just, you know, seemed like the right thing to do. But I'd say all these things on, let's say, Wednesday, and then Friday he'd get drunk and call me a bitch and a whore.
You know. Yeah, he's a classy guy, man. He's a class act. Somebody said something good. I was trying to find it.
Okay, hold on. Let me address this. Hold on. Wait.
Just real quick. Mr.
Okay.
Fresh wants to know, can you build a trust? That's just a joke. Because that's what Lorne was hired to do for Betty. Okay. Yeah.
Sprinkle Cake Von Truffle Fluff, which sounds like a delicious name. Question for Ramona. Who was really keeping you up all fucking night? I swear to whatever you want me to swear on, that I legitimately was watching Forensic Files those nights that I said I was watching Forensic Files. I love that show. That's one of my favorite shows. It creeps me out. It gets me excited. There are over 400 episodes of that show. And I watched all 400 episodes of that show in roughly a month, roughly like the month of June going into July, somewhere in June going into July, after I had hurt my knee. You know, I had nothing else to do but watch Forensic Files at night. And so I legitimately would stay up until 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and having started at 10 at night, just watching episodes of Forensic Files, and then Googling the murder victim and Googling the murderer and the family and the detectives.
Gotta give a shout out to Mike V, who came in to the chat. Good to see you, Mike V. Another super talented PCAPist.
The last tanker, you said, Ramona, are there any situations you would have liked to introduce and put Lorne through? You would like to introduce? Oh, are you saying situations that I would like? Be a little more specific with that question. The last tanker. By the way, I don't remember who said it because I was, arguing with Lorne and it was scrolling. But the person who said that this is how they were ending their vacation gave me a good laugh. So thank you for that. That's funny. Sword and Scale podcast. Who's that? I think Lorne is worse in person. Well, I've told Lorne before that he has been as abusive with me as the situation would allow, right? Because the situation allows for texting abuse, he's done that. The situation allows for phone abuse, he's done that. The situation allows for calling abuse, he's done that. The situation doesn't allow for verbal or physical, or it does allow for verbal abuse, he's done that. It doesn't allow for physical abuse, and that's the only kind pretty much that he hasn't done. Would he be that way in person? I don't know. I mean, it's anything's possible.
Jacob Danforth says, can you leave this, hello, Semi? Can you leave this video online for a couple hours before it goes private? I probably won't, and I hope that doesn't disappoint too many people, but at this juncture, the best thing we can do is keep a low profile. The good news is that everything is recorded, it's all permanent, it's all backed up, and we will be rolling out. Some people have made some suggestions about non-YouTube avenues for distribution, and certainly I'll look into those for my part of it. Obviously, I am not the custodian for all of the material, but the stuff that I have, I will look into getting out to trusted hands. But as for the master curator, Ms. Ramona, she'll have to decide what she wants to do in terms of distribution. But it'll all be coming. It's all forthcoming. I think it's going to be better to have some of the stuff edited down anyway. One of the things that Ramona and I had talked about was that it is difficult to have to improvise and sort of roll with Lorne's reactions and things like that, and it makes it hard to script it or structure it and things like that. So we don't always know what's coming, and there is a lot of repetition and a lot of dead air close to it when you have something like this. Now that we have presumably the project completed and ostensibly all the material, it will be a lot easier for us to go back. And Miss Ember has returned.
Oh shit!
Welcome
Sorry
back,
about that. I thought it was on mute.
Mr. Bagels asks, Ramona, are you part of the hashtag Natural Black Hair Brigade? No, I'm not, because, and my boyfriend is here. He overheard that and he laughed, because he knows that when I don't relax my hair, like, I always say, Moses couldn't part my hair. It's just not happening. And I see all these beautiful black women with their afros and their natural hair, and I'm like, yeah, most of you guys don't have 4C hair, do you? Because, 4C hair is like the kind that I have that really is like the opposite of straight and long and doesn't break off. So for me, natural hair won't happen, but I admire all of the sisters and the beautiful women who do. Let's see, what else have you guys sent to me?
Yeah, for those of y'all, obviously we don't have a monopoly on this, and there are people that have all these recordings, and hopefully people will be respectful in distributing. For the record, my name is not Sam Pendleton, and so it doesn't.
Is it Wham Slendleton, or is it
No, Slendleton was my father.
Is it?
He was a stern man.
Wait. Hold on, let me think. I know it. Is it Barry Pendleton, Super Horse Dink Pendleton, Super Horse Dink Pendle Schlong?
It's all of that. It's everything you just said. It's Barry Pendleton, Barry Horse, whatever you just said. That's what it is. Fine. Everybody knows now. And for those of y'all who don't, we had Viner. The guy's name was Viner. Barry's last name was Viner. For those of y'all who don't know, I'm posting it in chat right now. Who didn't pick up on the joke that Viner is an alternative pronunciation for wiener, because we thought that would be cute and lowbrow to have the guy's name be Wiener, but of course to pronounce it Viner, knowing that Lorne would never catch on. What else here? Did anyone ever tell Lorne he could have been an offender just for the webcam shows? Yeah, probably about 1,000 people, Ken. That kind of stuff goes right over his head.
Are there any ideas for other characters or situations to bring up that you had in mind to try out but didn't get a chance to? Example, introducing the high school sweetheart idea to him. Good idea, the last tanker. Let me think. As far as characters, boyfriend had thought of a good one, but I can't think of what he had thought of. But I think he had thought of the idea of the doctor's nephew, and that idea played out for a little bit. That was just a couple weeks. Other than that, I did think of like maybe introducing a female lesbian friend. What else? There were a couple other characters I thought of, but the characters really created themselves. For instance, the doctor created himself, and I know this is going to sound kind of crazy, but just hear me out. Even though the doctor didn't exist, I did have an image of what he would look like. And by the way, well, he's not here, Arrested Development, he looks nothing like that one. He had a full head of hair, unlike the guy on the Ramona Visits Lorne video. But the characters really would they would create themselves while I was talking to Lorne. And when the doctor created himself, for instance, when Lorne was yelling at me and telling me that I wasn't allowed to have guy friends, I had said, really the only guy friend who I hang out with right now or something like that is the guy from my aqua aerobics class. And yes, I was taking aqua aerobics. And no, there were no hot doctors in the class. No, not just the opposite. But and so I saw how like crazy he acted and how abusive he got when he was mentioned, that I knew that, I have a friend in my aqua aerobics class that I knew that he had to be brought on. And he said, well, your friend is stupid. He insulted my friend for hitting on me or something like that. And so I said, well, he's not stupid, he's a doctor. And then he went from being a doctor to being a renowned doctor who writes books and that kind of thing. So the characters really created themselves. And the neighbor was a good friend of my brother's, and my brother moved in because I had to have my brother move in because or say that my brother moved in because I realized Guy did not like me having did not like having to tiptoe around his own house. And I said, yeah, that's right, you shouldn't have to tiptoe around your own house, so that I can talk to a registered sex offender. Say what you want, and you're my brother, and so he won't be alarmed if he hears a male voice. But Lorne did make sure to tell me on several occasions that I need to get my fucking brother out of there. My fucking brother needs to move out. He needs to get his own place.
Classy.
So yeah.
Sprinkle Cake Von Truffle Bluff says, I got to be honest, I have no idea what Durango Mango is all about. Can anyone explain briefly? Durango Mango is, Betty. That's Betty, the lady that Lorne stole a ton of money from. And we always speculated that he used that money to buy the truck, the white Dodge with Gway on the bottom, and fund his trip down to Nashville. And I'm still not convinced that he didn't, but he claims that he didn't. He claims that his brood of viper siblings stole that money from him just as soon as he stole it from Ramona. From Betty.
Oh, an ex-boyfriend character. Did I have any? Well, it was funny because I had told him that I liked a guy in middle school whose last name was Armstrong, and that is true. I was head over heels for this guy. And of course, Lorne, staying true to being jealous of Derek types, got upset and was jealous and wanted to know more details about this guy. how long did you like him? What did he look like? And I'm like, Lorne, he was like, I mean, I was like 11 at the time, and so was he. I mean, we were kids, but that's what you like. But anyway, on to the next question.
Mike V asks, has Betty shown up lately? Yeah, she was actually on the other day for the debate, for part of the debate, and I've seen her in a few of the live streams. So she checks in pretty regularly. She still hates Lorne because she's still a smart lady.
Ramona, are you light skinned or dark skinned? Medium. I am African American, black, whatever you want to call it. That is me.
Don't say whatever you want to call it to Lorne. He'll say something awful.
Oh, I know. You know, I have to give him props. That is the one thing that he never said. I'm sure he's saying it now, but he never said it to my face or to my text messaging.
Never mind. I have a funny story along those lines, but I decided I'm not going to share it. So
Miss Bagel's amazing answer, 10 of 10. Would listen again. What was the amazing answer? Did Lorne's reaction to the truth surprise you at all? No. Kind of what I expected. Let's see.
Mr. Benfresh says, did you get the chance to meet up with Betty, Sam? Not yet. Not yet. I haven't made it that far north on the East Coast yet, Mr. Benfresh, since meeting her. But one day we're going to party together. Sam, can you please explain the difference between effing and making love? I can explain the difference. I'm not going to. I'm concerned for you if you don't know the difference. Send me an email. We'll discuss it privately. Have you ever listened to any of Candace Fella's prank calls of Lorne and other people? Yeah. I haven't listened to all of them just because he does so many. But when he was lower volume, before he really went into full-on prank call mode and was putting them up like every day, I listened to a bunch of them. I think they're great. They're hilarious. I do wish that, there were a lot of good usable sound bites in the phone calls, especially once we got all 6 of the phone calls. And there was a lot of untapped material in there that would have been great for prank calls, but coding a soundboard is a laborious, time-consuming process, so I can understand why once a soundboard was already created, it was just easier.
I love this question from Exalted One. Ramona, do you actually say thing 1 and thing 2 in real life, or was it just for Lorne's benefit? And it's so funny because I do say that in real life, but I never noticed it until I don't go on the TCAP forums or anything. I don't go on the Facebooks, but I have to put on my headphones. So hang on a second because my Bluetooth is about to die.
Right on. Well,
One said Ramona's having technical difficulties, so I will answer that interesting and most requested question shortly.
Danimation has a good answer to whoever it was that asked me the question. Was it Triforce? I think it was Triforce. Anyway, Danimation says fucking is just raw passion and making love is a connection of bodies, I guess. So that's a very insightful and highly original answer. Thank you, Danimation, for that.
And
you get the chance to meet up with Derek.
Those headphones. All right, hang on.
You want it inside of you, Zachary Stanford? That's a good question. All right. Let's see you, Darth Armstrong. Sometimes she would say A and B. Mike V says, Steph JC, your username has me cracking up. That is a great screen name, Steph JC. Big ups for that.
All right, Ramona is back here to answer that question that I see so much about. So anyway, one day I did a Google search about the whole Lorne thing and everything. And can you guys hear me, by the way?
I think they can. I can hear you.
Okay, good. And so it completely went over my head. I saw in somebody's signature they had like it said something like Ramona says, and then there was like a thing one, and I was like, what? And I didn't get it. And then at the same time, like my boyfriend and you guys started like making jokes about how I say it. And I didn't realize that I said it until like people would say things while I was saying it. And I do say that. And I got it from my mother. She says it. Like she'd say, Ramona, thing one, thing two, and so now whenever I'm making a point or talking to people, I say, okay, so first of all, thing one, blah, 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 thing two. And so I do say that in real life all the time. And I think it's funny that you guys caught on to that as if it was like my little catchphrase.
Indeed.
Can I finally tell us? Can you finally tell us the circumstances of when you saw the doctor naked? In my dreams. And
yeah, people want to know, how did you see the doctor naked?
well, what I had said was, were you guys here for that call of where I said how I saw him naked? Sam, can you tell me what they say? Like when were they here for the call?
No, I never put that part of the call out.
So Ramona saw the doctor naked. This is what happened. So Ramona got home one day and she saw that her brother's car was in the parking garage, so she knew that he was home. And she went up to her apartment and she heard someone taking a shower, and she assumed that it was her. She assumed that it was her brother, and she went into the bathroom, and here he is showering. There's clothes on the floor, and she grabs the shower curtain. She grabs the shower curtain and grabs him to like barrel hug both of them, hug him around the shower curtain. But with the doctor's massively strong arms, he flung the shower curtain off, thinking that the apartment was being ransacked. And there he was standing naked with his big, huge, gigantic, massive, submarine-sized horse stink. And Ramona was like, oh my God, you have such a big penis. No, she didn't, but she was like embarrassed, and they were embarrassed, and they just both looked away. And apparently the doctor and her brother had been swimming in the pool, and he went up to take a shower while the brother ran down and grabbed the mail. And so that's how that happened.
And how did the doctor see you in your panties?
Well, that's an interesting one. So, see, what had happened there is we were all about to get in the hot tub, and I was hanging out in one room with the doctor's sister, and I said, okay, I'm going to go in the bathroom, and she said, okay, I'll be right in. And so Ramona heard a knock on the door, and she said, come in. Ramona was only wearing a thong, and she was bent over, and as the door opened, she looked up, and she was topless and looking at the doctor, and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh, that's okay. And he closed the door, and he had seen her bent over in her thong, and then he got a full frontal view of Ramona's breast.
Good old-fashioned Justice says, would Lorne have been comfortable revealing his baldness to Kayla? Or if he got that far, would he have been totally naked but for his hat? Which is a great question, and probably I think it's one that a lot of people have speculated on, because he only revealed his baldness that we know of 3 times during the sting. One time where they refer to it in the chat log, and 2 times where he's on camera without his hat, so we know he had his hat off for those times. But he says at one point in the chat log, the only reason I have my hat off is because it was the night that he was sick. So he said the only reason I have my hat on is because I'm sick. If I felt okay, I would have my hat on. LOL. He liked to use LOL occasionally.
Just occasionally.
Yeah. And so he was obviously very, very hung up on the fact that he was bald.
Bits as in tits and dips and dick? That sounds like a rap. Dips as in tits, as in dips as in tits, I have no clue. What does that mean? Did you ever manage to find out? I don't know that question. I don't know. I didn't hear him say that. I don't remember that one. And the wardrobe malfunction that led to Lorne seeing the doctor's horse stink. Well, Ramona saw the doctor's horse stink when they were in the hot tub, and like he had stood up and his like Speedo kind of fell down, and there was his horse stink. Ramona, do you still want to marry Corey, aka Brick Mayor? I don't know who that is.
It was who was she talking about? Sam, how's your relationship with Bay Shaman? Things with Bay Shaman are great. He just, for reasons that most people understand now, he is moved away from the TCAP stuff. But yeah, he and I swap messages all the time, and we're actually planning on doing a collaborative project, and that's being held up by me. He's told me he's ready to go whenever I am, and I just haven't gotten to it because, as one or two people in the community know already, I tend to let too much time elapse between projects. But he and I have a couple of cool ideas that we're cooking up, so stay tuned for those. But yeah, he's good, man. He's old shaman, man. If you guys aren't supporting shaman, you're wrong. Go support the shaman.
Somebody asked how I didn't go insane. Well, that's a good question. Let me come back to that one because I don't know. I'm still not convinced that I'm not insane. Let me come back to that one. Did I listen to the police interview? Yes, I did.
Let's see. Shaman's nude and thinking bad thoughts, says Zachary.
Thank you, Sprinkle on Cake.
Mildly curious to know how you know that. Sam Pendleton, when will you finish Chapter 3? That's an interesting question, Captain Spaz. I don't think anybody's asked me that before. To those who are curious, to the three of you who care, people, as to why I haven't finished reading Chapter 3, the reason is because Chapter 3 was intended to be read erotically. Some of you may have heard the preview that I posted for it. And the problem with that is that it's like 15 pages, and the joke is a one-trick joke. And I don't relish the idea of trying to read half of Lorne's book erotically, but beyond that, I don't relish the idea of doing the requisite editing to get the music right and everything like that, because it's just like you kind of get the joke already with the preview. I don't know if we need 15 pages of that. So I've been counseling with my creative advisor, Yap, and I'm thinking about maybe doing Chapter 3 another way, going another way with it, and either saving the erotic stuff for a shorter chapter or just not doing it at all because I don't really enjoy it. But anyway, that's the answer to the question there, Captain Spaz. Chapter 3 is coming sometime soon, I mostly promise. You're not going to read it erotically now. Mr. Wongberger, it's like 15 pages of the same joke. And I don't know if anybody wants to hear me read anything erotically for 15 pages, especially prose as lacking in believability and flow as Lorne's is.
Where's the next question? Did Lorne ever get mad at Ramona's gynecologist for seeing her vagina? Lorne did explicitly tell me not too long ago that I need to see female gynecologists. I don't need to have a male gynecologist. So there's that. And he told me that when he had a fit about the doctor seeing my knee.
Mr. Wong, where he says, Sam, you're talking to this community about not wanting to overextend a joke. Consider your audience. That's a fair point. Noted. And Captain Spaz says, when will you release Chapter 4? Well, Chapter 4 would definitely be coming out before Chapter 3, because that seems like the reasonable course of action. So look for Chapter 4 soon, and Chapter 3 a long time from now. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that compliment. Wonderful compliment.
Yes, to the interview question, Ramona. I'm a little bit.
I want you. Coldwater says, I want you to read my microwave instructions erotically. My days of reading appliance instructions erotically are over. I had too many bad experiences with that in my late teens. I don't know what that means.
Well, Lorne never did a transgender. Well, what genitalia were they born with?
Captain Spat says, Sam Pendleton, I want you to take my moderation powers away because I can't stop posting the same joke. Okay, Captain Spat, I can do that for you.
Ramona, did you talk sexy to Lorne when you guys first started talking? I will say this, I never, ever talked sexy to Lorne. And I will say this as well. He tried to do the whole Kayla thing with me. You know, do you like my penis? Do you think it's you know, what kinds of things, you know, what kinds of sexual things do you want us to do? And I'm like, shake hands, that's about it, maybe. And you know, what basically, you know, would you suck my dick if you were here right now? Would you give me a hand? Like, I mean, he'd ask all sorts of these kinds of questions, and I'd find clever ways to dodge them. Well, there was this one day where he was told that I was going up to New York City with some of my girlfriends, and I was leaving town that night, and I did leave town. I was staying over in a hotel and going away, and he was told I was going to New York City with my girlfriends. So what does Lorne do? While I'm in the vehicle heading there, and he knew I was in the vehicle heading there and not driving, he sent me a dick pic. And this was one of the first ones that he ever sent me. And by one of the first ones he ever sent me, I mean, this was maybe number 20. And out of like 1,000 dick pics, number 20 is one of the first ones. So he sends me that picture. And I kind of like laughed. I'm like, you're goofy. And was just going to go on hanging out. It was Friday. I had fun plans. So while I'm heading up there, you know, is it big enough for you, baby? Do you think you're going to be happy with it? Do you like the length of it? I mean, he literally played 50 questions about his penis. And so I'd say, yes, 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 yes. And so he started saying, you know, don't show it to any of your friends. And I didn't respond to that message within like 2 minutes. So he said, you're not going to show it to any of your friends, are you? And I said, no, Lorne. Well, apparently Lorne decided to thereafter get drunk, because I guess I was out of town, and so he decided to like down 50 beers or something. And so that whole night turned into, and I didn't see this until the next day when I checked my phone, hundreds of text messages. You showed my picture. You're cheating. You're making fun of me. You showed my picture around to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. You did this. You did that. And I started getting called all sorts of names, and you're doing this and that, and all because I didn't message him when he knew I was away to continue the conversation for hours long about his penis.
Well, he's a sweetheart.
Yes.
Captain Saz wants me to say now. She wants me to say the word now, N-O-W, now. I hope that satisfies you. Jacob, no, I probably won't leave it up just for that reason, just so that people can't download it. Listen, we're under no delusions that somebody's probably not recording it as it streams. That possibility is, that's a possibility, and we understand that risk, but we're just trying to minimize. There's nothing anybody can do with any of it. We understand that, but the best strategy is just to keep a low profile until everybody's a little bit more comfortable releasing it. So we probably it will not be up for half an hour after the stream, but I can assure you that all of the good content will hit the streets in the future for everybody's enjoyment.
My boyfriend, what he thinks about this, to answer Cassidy Armstrong's question, is he went from, you guys are all crazy, you guys are insane, you guys are following and worshiping a pedophile, to, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand this, to, oh, it's funny, whatever. I mean, do your thing. So what's he up to now? So he's been a really good sport about it.
Yeah, Lorne could sue for, I'm sure that I'm not going to speculate on what Lorne could sue on, because chances are he or one of his people are listening and we'll give them the idea since they're not smart enough to think of it on their own. But even if...
Oh, you know what? I know what he could sue for. He could sue for $30,000. Now, where could that go, Sam?
$30,000.
I
don't know, but I need to try to raise $30,000 real quick just in case he does sue. Unfortunately for me, there's a beautiful retired couple that just moved in.
Oh, that's brilliant. Hey, tell them that you have a septic business.
Yeah, I'll tell them I'll do some work on their house.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay, but listen, after I'm gonna swindle this money out of them. I'm gonna have to go somewhere else to lay low, another part of the country. Like I should go to like a big city where I could blend in. Let me think. I've always loved
over music. Delaware?
No, I've always loved music. It should be someplace that has a thriving and vibrant music scene. Maybe even a place where I could catch some karaoke action and who knows, maybe break into the industry that way.
That's a good idea.
I've got it.
What,
Branson, Missouri. I'll go to Branson.
Oh, that's wonderful. You could start a music career. I mean, but wait, you have to be almost 40 to do that. Yeah.
That's true. I have a lot of hair, too. I do have a thick, full head of hair.
You got to get rid of some of that.
Qualify. And then what should I do for personal relationships? Should I try to meet someone online or something?
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Like, yeah, go in a chat room. Okay. You can say it was an adult chat room later. But, like, just go in a chat room and, I don't know, I mean, maybe message around. Look for, you know what you should do? You should look for someone who has, like, a screen name like Chewy Girl, I don't know, 2005 maybe.
Sounds good.
And then, she might be around 12 or 13.
Hey, I've got some pictures of my genitals. What should I do with all these pictures I have of my genitals?
Well,
should I send them to anyone?
Well, as a girl who was once 12 and 13 years old, I know that 12 and 13-year-old girls appreciate nothing more than getting the genitalia of a guy who's old enough to be their father.
I think their parents like that too.
Yeah, their parents really like that.
You know what they really like? Is when, they like it when you turn your cam on and show them on video instead. And if you wouldn't mind turning around and showing everyone your little asshole, that's every woman's dream. And don't forget to take a picture of your turds in the toilet, because I heard that that's something that one sexy man we all know likes to do.
And make sure
How come?
And make sure you do something to make the white stuff come out.
Those are the best pictures.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take much.
Did Lorne send you one of those? Did he send you a white stuff picture, Ramona?
Wait, you got one?
No, I never did.
Oh, no, I never got one.
I don't make the white stuff come out. I'm a full-grown woman.
Medusa asks, is Lorne listening in, or is he going to make an appearance tonight? He has already made his appearance. He's probably not listening in. I'm sure he's not. Somebody in his camp may be listening in. But I doubt that he's probably too busy crying and drinking. Steph Jason says, what effect would it have on his probation? I'm not sure what effect what would have on his probation.
I know one thing is Lorne now can rightfully request that his personal information be removed from the registry due to harassment. So
Lorne has been harassed. So.
Now that he has his probation officer giving him printouts, who prints out a YouTube video? I thought that was just a meme, but yeah. So they handed him over to him, and can take from that what you wish. But there is.
Lorne was probably confused when he gave him the printouts because he was like, "I keep pressing the play button and it won't play."
This wireless service is terrible.
And I mean, and truthfully, well, I don't know. I mean, there's the sex offender registry, as far as whether it should have people's jobs and people's addresses up, is an interesting one. I mean, he has not been at all harassed from any of that information. No one's went to his job, and no one's went to his house or anything or sent him anything, and I don't recommend anybody to do that. But I have
apart
even
from an
told
ill-advised swatting, it's been pretty clean in that.
But I mean, I have said before that people need and deserve to know who these guys are and who is out here trying to harm children. And that's why that list exists, and that's why it needs to always exist.
Ryan
it's
Bond
just
says,
a matter.
Sorry, I was. Ryan Bond says, "Do you think Lorne's literal asshole had the white stuff come out in prison?" Well, we know it went in. We know, Lord knows it went in. And here's a good question for you: is there, Ramona, Suggs fan JB321 says, is there any sort of plan if he does call back and try to get back in Ramona's life? He truly does seem stupid enough that I wouldn't rule it out, especially given he thinks she was brainwashed. So what if he calls back?
I mean, honestly, if he is that desperate to have a friend and he calls me back, obviously he knows who I am. I'm not going to tell him, I'm not going to say that was all a hoax or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I'll be nice to him and whatnot. But I'd be nice to him and I'd talk to him.
If Lorne called me back, I'd make fart sounds in his ears the whole time until he hangs up. Fuck that guy.
And that was ultimately my intention, was just to be, I don't know why, be nice to a registered sex offender, whatever, but that was my ultimate intention. And just like we know about Lorne, there can't be a woman on the internet who he just talks to as a friend and does not try to have some kind of sexual relationship with.
You don't just talk, he meets.
Yeah, that's right.
The gently named Slut Machine Gun says, I would love Slut Machine Gun says, I would love to catfish Lorne. Hey, go for it, girl. I'll tell you what would be funny. If you decide to catfish him, I'll be your therapist, and I'll just talk with a bad Australian accent, and he'll probably buy it. Oh, let's see. I don't know. I guess I
didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, I'm trying to think of, because the first thought is to go with a British accent, but add a little spice to it, right? Like, hey, mate. Yeah. Hey, mate. You waited a minute and you got, hey, mate. And it was bad. Hey, Slut Machine Gun and any other Australians, the first time I went to Australia, I ate at a place called Steve's Kebab House. So I want to know if it's still there. Because I'm sure all of Australia all goes to the same place where that restaurant was. They put radishes on, like, radishes and carrots on their hamburgers, which is crazy to me. I thought I would share that with everybody.
How did I resist? How the fuck, Ramona, how the fuck did you resist not hanging up on the fucker when he was yelling at the top of his lungs? Because it was just fascinating. I mean, he has yelled at octaves, I think that's the word, that I've never heard anybody at before. And it was just fascinating. I had never experienced anything like that in my life. I mean, I was serious when I said that I've had boyfriends before and none of them have ever talked to me like that. I don't think it's something that guys should make a habit of. My favorite line was when he was yelling at you for seeing the doctor naked, and then Ramona said, "Everybody has seen you naked." Yeah, thank you.
Mark Shaw says, let's be real, Ramona is the one getting trolled by Lorne. She's wasted hundreds of hours making small talk with a pedo for no real payoff. I don't think Mark Shaw understands how much money we're making doing this. I don't know about you guys, but I'm cleaning up on this. I've made so much scratch from this project that I have a lot of money now. That's how much. A lot, a whole lot.
Well, I done made zippity doo off of it, but
I'll send you your cut. Don't worry.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Someone, Donna.
Some things aren't about money.
Someone filled me on this. How the fuck did you guys convince Lorne that Ramona didn't blow the doctor a la the call with Mike V? What happened after that? Was it recorded and I missed it?
Wait, huh?
Wants to know how you convinced Lorne. This was before I was. How did you convince Lorne that Ramona didn't blow the doctor a la the call with Mike V?
Remember when we called Lorne?
Yeah, you guys called.
And I played a video for Lorne, and it was you blowing the doctor. And he got pissed off and called you a fucking cunt. How did you convince him that didn't really happen?
He's Lorne. But no, no, but I mean, I told him that I didn't do that, and I told him I didn't mean to do it, and I never meant to do it. And I just bought those condoms to sit in my car and get rubber burned. You know how like rubber, like if it sits outside, it'll like crack. So those are the kinds of condoms that Lorne had bought. Or that's what would have happened to condoms sitting in Lorne's hot truck. They would have just cracked open. So basically, that's what I said. I told him that I didn't do it, and eventually he believed me. Ramona, seriously, did this project interfere with your relation? Why can't I read? Did this project interfere with your relationship with boyfriend negatively? No, I mean, there were times where he wasn't pleased with it, but, he loves me and he knows that this was something that was interesting to me, so he's cool with it, He has his video games, I have Lorne.
Slut Machine Gun says, can Ramona try calling him one last time now, see how he's feeling after finding out? I don't think so. I guess that's on Ramona ultimately, but I think we're done,
to who?
right?
Somebody who.
Yeah, for tonight. I mean, let him.
Can you call Roy? Victor says. I don't think the shed has a phone in it.
Got kicked off the internet for trying to fuck a little girl using the.
Roy's an interesting one. Yes, Lorne drinks Bud Light.
Drew Nichols. Lorne won't call. He'll have his mom call. Yeah, you may have to feel the call from the mom. Ramona, that's a good point.
And my apologies, I am like way behind. I'm reading stuff that was sent in at 11:30, and I'm sorry for that. No, I'm not sorry. I'm answering your fucking questions, and I'm getting all of them. So, there. Okay. So anyway.
Any lonely men want me to catfish them? Says Slut Machine Gun. If there's any lonely men listening that want to be catfished, we have a candidate. Could you do Steph JC? Could you do a prank call where you ring Lorne and the other TCAP characters and put them all on the phone to each other at the same time? Would be chaotically funny. That would be pretty funny. I think the holdup there is, Lorne's going to be Lorne should be extremely wary of calls from people he doesn't know now. We all know he won't be. Exalted One, when you do upload, will you include the post-call talk with the three of y'all? Yeah, my guess is I think Ember's going to take the con on that one, on compiling all the material, or at least editing it, because we do need to clean some things up in it. So my guess is that a truncated version, an edited version, will be available, and an edited version, and an unedited version, excuse me. But we're not going to all those questions about distribution will be answered in time. Please be patient and understand that the people who are going to be releasing it, the only reason we're just trying to do our due diligence here, because Lorne's awareness of the project is relatively new, so we have to be we just want to play it safe for everybody's interest.
What is the most disgusting thing Lorne has said to you, Ramona? That's a good question. That's one that requires some thought, because there's been a lot of things. If anybody has any ideas, feel free to throw it out there, but I can't think of any else. I can't think of what the most disgusting one would be at this time.
Picture of his poop? Is that what?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that would do it for me.
Yeah.
I'm not into the scat stuff. I don't know. Like, that's one of the reasons I could never get into the Stanley stuff, because there's so much of that kind of stuff, and I'm not about that life. Ramona, do you think after all this, Lorne's future love life will actually be healthier? Asked Frecklepad. Maybe he'll finally stop investing so much in online relationships with people he's never met.
I have told him that so many times. And so your guess is as good as mine. I think he has a lot of work to do on himself. He's not ready for a serious relationship. And I think that the reason why, I think the way that a man gets to be that at 47 is because they piss away their 20s and their 30s and their early 40s on bullshit. And that's why he is where he is right now. But the thing is that he won't ever admit that. And so if he's not going to admit the problem, then it can't change. Ramona, did Lorne ever try to have phone sex with you? He tried to get me to masturbate on the phone for him, and of course I wouldn't do that. But he said that he couldn't do anything, like, because of his lie detector test that he has to take.
Ryan Bonds, the Stanley stuff made me want to throw up. Agreed. Tim Darling, Stanley was a vile man. Agreed. Buchanan Baxter, seeing Lorne receive a fatality by Sam Pendleton was the cleanest. But this is the most awesome video. To those of you who haven't seen Arrested Development's latest video, please go and watch it.
Yes.
It's total Godhead live, man. And I say that not only because the therapist is indirectly responsible. Well, I'm not going to ruin it. Just go watch it. It's great. You'll love it.
It is. It really is. I was pleased and surprised, and good job for him. Are you worried that the corticosteroid, I can't speak, release from Lorne stress, lack of sleep may have caused sulfate malabsorption and hindered your cartilage regeneration in your knees? Oh, that's a long-winded one, but it's funny. But no, it was actually a slip and fall coming out of the shower in 2015.
Captain Spaz says, "Hey, Sam Pendleton, do you have any pictures of me that you photoshopped at one time in the past that you want me to share publicly, or that you want to share publicly?" I think that's what Captain Spaz just asked. Holy shit. Ramona, did you ever tell Lorne to stop doing disgusting things into the phone, like blowing his nose, hawking a loogie, etc.?
Not at all, because those are some of the greatest things I've ever heard. And I know that anyone. What, Sam?
I was finish. I'm laughing at Zachary Stanford's question. Do you have any of Stanley's nudes? I need them for my personal use.
All you want and more in that department, but I have to tell you, Stan did not like close-ups of his nipples, and that's a shame because he always described one as being inverted and the other one not being inverted. So he would always just show the one nipple, and he'd always just kind of pull on the one nipple. So if that's not your thing, then you're going to be disappointed. But everything else about Sexy Man Stanley is just superb, and you will be aroused. Anybody you show will become aroused. It's like that chemical weapon that was being created by one of our governments to make everybody gay. That's exactly what Stan's pictures do to you. I know Sam had to struggle with that a little bit. He just wouldn't stop asking me for the videos. He wanted the animated ones, not just the stills. And the same thing with Ramona. Ramona particularly liked Stan opening and closing his asshole and making it clap for us. So, you know, we all have our things. I liked it when Stan poured piss all over himself and then proclaimed for the other person to acknowledge that he was a slave. Stanley is disgusting, but it was so fun to laugh at because you just can't feel bad for laughing at a man who admits to have fondled his son in a diaper, his infant son.
Okay, we'll talk more about that later. I didn't know that about him. I didn't know. I
have him recorded admitting
Lorne, I've neglected other pedophiles. Oh.
Yeah, he's a bad man.
Oh,
but he's dead.
Super dead.
Doug Hastings asks a great question. He says, were you ever afraid talking to Lorne? There were so many times in those calls that I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I'm not there right now. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad that there's not another, like that there's not an actual girl in his presence. I was so happy about that. I was so glad that the person who was taking the brunt of his abuse and his drunken and violent rages was me being on the phone. I was so happy about that. But as far as like being afraid, there was one time I was talking to him. It was about maybe about a month and a half ago. And he was so loud and so vulgar. And I mean, it was worse than the stuff that he typically does, which is call me a cunt. So, I mean, you can imagine if he can top that, the kind of stuff that he was saying, the way that he was screaming at me, the way that he was belittling me. I just remember, and that was a pretty long call, I just remember like sitting there after the call and I was like, oh my gosh, like that one, it didn't get to me on I guess like maybe a personal level, but it was very, it was truly disturbing to me, and it truly, like, I wouldn't say it upset me, but it was just to hear someone say those things about you, even though you know this is an unimportant person, and even though you know that this is a person who is violent and vulgar, to hear someone say those things to you affects you on some way, even if it is someone like that, just to be exposed to that. So yes, there was a call where I wouldn't say that I was afraid, but I was just disturbed, very disturbed.
Ascension Archangel Ray asks Sam Pendleton, is there anything new you learned about Lorne when you played the role of the therapist? Nothing factually new. I just get some insight into his behavior and how he responds to situations of duress. And I was a little disappointed that he wasn't more confrontational in terms of taking it to making it physical, like talking about what he'd like to do to me and that sort of thing. He did some of that tonight, but that was in the pre-call. You guys didn't get to hear that. So I don't know why I mentioned it, but I was trying to draw that aspect of that response out of him because I knew that I would be able to play on that some and use that to leverage the Ramona against him to say, look, this is where his mind goes when he's angry. He wants to get violent. He really didn't, which I was a little disappointed by. So I suppose he deserves some credit. I'm not going to say he deserves credit, but I'll say that I can't criticize him for being as prone to talking about being physically confrontational as I sort of hoped and frankly had anticipated he would be.
Malaya asks, what is the meanest thing Lorne has ever said to you? The thing about where he said that, quote, this conversation is more important to your Nana's health, like, when he said that, I'm like, fuck this guy. Like, you know, she's a 96-year-old lady. She's an amazing lady. She is real. She's not made up for the story. She's real. And for him to say that is, you know, it just shows that he's a piece of crap. For him to think that I should place talking to him, who I've never even met, over, you know, a conversation that was supposed to be about helping her health was just disturbing. And fuck him for that. Is this wide enough for you, baby? Oh, somebody am I the one with the sexy voice? Thank you. Whatever, do this with another predator. Oh my gosh. I'm worn out with that.
Do you want me to play the part of the call that didn't get live streamed where I told Lorne off? Because I have it queued up and then I have to go inside.
All right, guys. Yeah, we're going to have to bounce in a minute. Anyway, thank you for that kind compliment, Julie. I very much appreciate that. Lily Luna wants a shout out. Easily excited. Get excited, Lily. The highlight of your day.
We love Lily. Aww.
Here's a funny one. Ramona, has Lorne ever said anything from his calls with Kayla and his calls with you? Yes. He literally used to say, hi, honey, like that. And at first I was like, is he joking? But no, that was him. He used to say that. I think he asked me a couple times if I was anxious. I mean, truly, I think he asked me just a couple times back in the beginning, like if I was anxious to do something.
Yeah, I have to agree with Triforce. Triforce says that was so funny when he apologized to the therapist at the end of the call. That was extremely satisfying. I realize this may, for some, taint my image a bit, but I'm just going to be candid.
You love that word.
Because I love the word. That with that first call, my objective was to get him to cry. And we did it, and that was great. And then to have him apologize to me after I made him cry, that was righteous, man. One of my top 10 moments in Lornography, easily.
Steph JC, I'm not sure I understand that question. Ramona, what effect will him sending dick pics, comma?
Hey, you guys, I got to get going. I can leave the call on if you wish, or I can turn it off because...
yeah, we need to wrap it up. I think it'll be good to wrap it up because we need to pull this video down off the channel just before anybody else gets wise to it that isn't in the group or that might have nefarious intentions. So I'm going to say I think we should all say our good nights and my thanks, my deep and profound thanks to Ember and Ramona for all of your diligent labor and for allowing me to be a small part of this. And my thanks to everyone in our family who was part of tonight's live stream. Remarks?
Any last questions?
Thank you to the supporters, and everybody else can lick me where I pee.
Good one.
All right, I guess that's it. Thank you guys, and God bless. Have a great night, and stay tuned for more Lorneography. Soon to come.
Good night, everybody.